So lovelessness is a basic, what I saw during the scan. And from lovelessness, judgment happens, because not all judgments happen to lovelessness, but there is judgment due to lovelessness also. And when there's judgment, we get hurt, we get anger, and we have hatred. Hmm? So this hatred will get stored in the heart, physical heart. Physical heart will carry hatred, not only the chakra. Okay. And then we have lust. Lust is nothing but craving more of that person. We want to eat that person, right? So there's no love there if there's lust. So lust is not about love, even though love can lead to lust, but lust itself is not love. In pure love, there's no lust. Hmm? So you can say lust is an emotion. When there is lust there, lust will appear as craving for food. So that's when we eat even without having hunger. So we feel like we want to eat and eat and eat. Even if we say stop eating, we will have automatically our hand will go pick up a couple of chips or whatever and eat, right? And we'll give some kind of temporary justifications of, oh yeah, this is because of this I'm eating. This is because of that I'm eating. And some people will engage in different other kinds of addictions, right? So that's why I written here addictions, right? So we don't have any of this in extreme. We are all good. Okay. So we don't have it as a disorder, but these are symptoms of future disorders. Okay. So I'm going to take you deeper into all of that. And then I saw in between, I saw you all have beautiful visions. Okay? So that's something which is like tremendously important to understand that you all are not normal people, right? You're all carrying great vision with great heart. But hurts, resentments, regrets, dissatisfactions, disconnection comes to again back to lovelessness. But this disconnection is about from the divine. From divine, that is what Eric was speaking a little bit about. Okay, and and then we have deep inside purposelessness. That also I saw. Purposelessness means even though we're doing so many things, which are really looking useful stuff, but still we lack the deep purpose. We always ask, what's the point of doing all this? You know, where am I going at? What am I doing actually? Am I really going in the right direction? Or why am I doing this? Why should I do this? Why can't I do something else? Right? So it will come like you get into some kind of involvement, and soon after you will feel dissatisfied and you will say, this is not something which I like to do. I like to do something else. Mhm. So you keep shifting between your endeavors, activities, if we have purposelessness. Okay. So this is something which I saw also. Okay. So all of this we have solutions for. That's why we have the journey. We have the golden body transformation program. Okay. So when you go through this transformation of this much, right? So we spoke about like this much, right? Anxiety is about a mental healing, right? And you can see mind, I've already written here that we're going to go through. Let me see where's my mental. I think I just started here. I'm going to show you a whole list of what we're going to go through. So there's anxiety, there's depression, and there's some kind of addictions, and there is eating disorders, right? Disorders. And we have PTSD, so which is post-traumatic stress disorders. And last week we dealt with schizophrenia. Yeah. We went through 4 hours of process, right? So you can say these are like the mental feelings that we're going to have. Okay. So this is just 5 minutes. I saw all of this in all of you. It's not about one person, okay? It's like all of it together. Oh yeah, then I saw talented but unfound. Okay, that's like, underrated. Hmm? That's another thing I saw. Okay, right. Addictions means anything that we are addicted. That means we are trying to get some pleasure out of it. Addiction is also about things we control. Maybe we are very good at, for example, not eating, but there were some times when we used to overeat, and then we control and we overcome it. That is not liberation, because there was a time in your life when you had addiction, right? So you use your willpower to come out of it, hmm? Which is good. We can do it. But that is not a long-term treatment, because the deep inside cause, which is lovelessness, is still not treated. So then addictions will come into something else, right? So spirituality itself, many people consider it as a sense of a source of pleasure, right? So they say, I feel ecstasy, and so I like to get some pleasure. So people come and do practices so that instead of some kind of addictions, for example, they are using some kind of medicines, or I don't know, ayahuasca or LSD, or I don't know what all people go for, drugs and all this. Some people engage in drinking, some people engage in smoking, some people engage in I don't know what all. So all of those will appear in different forms, and sometimes spiritual people will use spirituality itself as experience seeking endeavor. So you come to spirituality so that you can feel good feel better, right? So it is not an experience source, actually, even though you will have a lot of experience. Even when we project the program, we show so much experience, right? So it looks as though we are giving experience. Experience is a symptom of getting closer to the divine. Hmm? So you will have tons and tons of pleasures, transcendental pleasures. But if that is your ultimate aim, I'm not saying it's your aim, okay? None of you are like that. I'm just saying theory. If that is our main aim, if people are coming in for pleasure, then it's better they use LSD only, not come for programs. Okay? Because once we awaken the Kundalini, let's say in these 3 days, especially in these 3 days, you cannot engage in any addictions. Okay? Even if you're not addicted, non-vegetarian is no. Okay? Then any kind of, I don't know, drinking, smoking, or any kind of intoxicants, you cannot take in and hereafter. Because once the Kundalini awakens properly, it has to keep traveling through the Sushumna Nadi properly. So right now, what happens when we take LSD and all of this? I'm not saying you take LSD, you don't take LSD, but I'm just giving as an example. What will happen is Kundalini Shakti that is awakened will go in different directions, which is not the direction of the divine. So it gives you more peace and state of mind and all this, but eventually it will lead to destruction of the nervous system. So it may take years, but there will be one time when ayahuasca or something which was serving, now it has become like a destructive source. So that is why naturally we follow divine scriptures, and through divine scriptures we follow a certain sequence, and through that sequence we give awakening to people, and thereafter they have to maintain. Right? For example, you go for de-addiction center. Okay, you have been alcoholic, you go for de-addiction center, right? So they have very strict procedure, right? Very strict, because they say you cannot drink, first of all, you cannot smoke, and then you cannot engage in some things, and you cannot eat this and you cannot eat that, you have to wake up at this time, you cannot sleep long, and you have to do this yoga, you have to do breathing, you have to engage in these activities. There are so many restrictions if you go to the 28 days addiction program, de-addiction programs, right? So in spirituality also, there are so many restrictions. Why? Because of the science behind it. There's a huge science behind it. Okay? Because of that, right? Now, if you get de-addicted, if you go for 28 days, and if you get de-addicted, and then you come back and start smoking or whatever, your system will be worse off, actually. It would have been better you don't go for 28 days. I'm not talking about Synarchy 28 days. I'm talking about the rehabilitation program, government sponsored. Okay. So then I would say don't come. Okay. So that is why this program is not like a public program where people can come in and go out. Okay. It's a program where people get closer to the divine. So that is something which, when we are going to have people coming in, inquiring for it, we will introduce to them about this program. And thereafter, they will continue with the state that they get and some kind of practice. Now, it is not control also. Because spirituality is about freedom, right? So you cannot say this is your control. You don't do it or do this or do that. We don't have like that in our scriptures also. So it's not a discipline that we have to follow. Because even if we follow a discipline given by the divine, one day you will break it. All controls are to be broken. You get it? So then how do we handle it? We handle it through devotion, bhakti. That is when this lovelessness is filled by divine directly, then you'll get into a balance where your system automatically does not seek these pleasures, whatever it is. Automatically, you don't crave for anything. Then you will also get the state of that shift in consciousness where your body itself will undergo a shift for getting into that state of samadhi or balance. Get it? Okay. Now I'm going to take you through the 3 days program step by step. I'm going to show you how we are going to go through this, what I just spoke about, and what are the states that you're going to get into, and what are the programs, what are the sub programs, like what practices. So we're going to go through certain kind of Kriya Yoga, Hatha Yoga, then Kundalini Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. We're going to combine a few mantra yoga, a few yogas together for us to get into a shift in consciousness where we feel that we raise up to the levels of Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, Lord Muruga, and spiritual masters. So who are the spiritual masters who are involved in this program? Also, I'm going to introduce to you. You will know many of them. Okay. Right. So far what we discussed, do you have any questions or comments? Right. Body of light itself, it's a huge program in which we go through all the states of the body itself. Okay. First step, what we give is awakening in the program. So here, so this from here on, it's an introduction to the program itself. Okay. So who is our main spiritual master who is helping us? Is Mahavatar Babaji. How many of you know Mahavatar Babaji? Kriya Babaji. Kriya, I don't know what all his name, Babaji, whatever. So you can always put a thumbs if you know him. If you don't put thumbs, that means you don't know him. So 4 days before, he descended into me and he started speaking to me. Okay. And I was not prepared. I did not connect to him. I did not chant any mantras. I did not think about him or speak to him, nothing. Okay. I was focusing on something else. And then I was like, why is he descending into me now? I didn't invite him, right? And then I was lying down in my meditation and I was having a lot of body pains. And then within some time, I went into trance, deep meditation. And when I woke up, suddenly I don't have those body pains. I started being flexible and I started running and I was so energetic and all this. And then analyzed it and then I thought, yes, this is Babaji's work. Okay. So that's how I came to know that he's dissenting, hmm, and he's trying to help us in this regard, on this regard. Okay. Not the entire program will be run by him because we will have all different kinds of gods coming into the program. But the major part of the body of light process will be done by Mahavar Babaji. Okay. And then I was like wondering, like something on YouTube, I was like going through some videos, and then a person, one another spiritual master who's living now, came into the video and he spoke about an experience with Mahavar Babaji. Okay. So the experience goes like this. There are two heard stories of Babaji. Yes. So this yogi, when he was 23 years old, he was walking and going in search of Mahavar Babaji. So Mahavar Babaji is generally found around Kedarnath temple in Uttar Pradesh in Himalayas. Hmm? Kedarnath temple. So that's around there he gives darshan. That's where he comes. He's been on the planet for like 2000 years, right? And he was a boy who was brought up in Tamil Nadu, South India, which is very close to my place. And in the young age, he didn't have a good time, family time, had some problems with mother, and he left and he went to some parts of northwest India, and he got connected to some spiritual masters. And then he came back to South India and he traveled to Sri Lanka, and that's where he met his Mahavar Babaji, met his guru, Bhoganatha, who is the saint who consecrated Palani Muruga, Lord Muruga temple in Palani. Very famous in India. So he is his guru, who is my guru also. Right? So this is Priyavatar Babaji's guru, who is actually running on another level. He is the one who is running the program. Okay. So I'm going to show you more about it. Okay. All of this Melody will know not a lot because we have gone through it so much in 2020. Okay. So then Mahavar Babaji got initiation into Kriya Yoga and he got awakened and he was given the signs of nectar, immortality, and he attained immortality. And then he left to Kedarnath and Himalayas. So he lives in some caves in Himalayas and he has been using the same body for 2000 years. So then this person went to see him. So he walked up the hills and he was like waiting and he walked and he walked for like days, right, and months. And there came a time when he was like, I think 15,000 feet above the sea level. And then to cut the story short, he heard a sound like, why are you here? This is not the right place for you. You get nothing. Go back, Clara. Okay. And then it is like a God appearing before him, and the formless God was speaking to him. And then he in that energy, because in that space in Himalayas there is no chattering and stop. There is no chattering there. In that space, he slept off in high energy. The mind calmed down. There were no self. There was no him inside him. There are no negativity, negative emotions, negative thinking, nothing. But he went into trance and he slept off due to the high energy. And when he woke up, he saw this figure, right? And he had the darshan of Mahavar Babaji, and he went into the cave and he got initiations and all this. Okay? And then there's a story how he got awakened. Okay. Another story of one of my gurus, he went into Kedarnath it is, okay. So it's a place where we will be going in our trip. We like to include next year. We are planning for like a 1 month trip to India, and in that we may you include this place depending on the weather there. Okay, so it's good to go in summer. So it's like not snowing and all this. It's very high Himalaya mountains, and then he appeared before him in meditation, and he called out the spiritual name. And when he saw, he was not walking on the ground, he was like floating. Okay, and its open eyes is real vision, means is real vision. So what my guru did, he went and caught his hand. This is another guru, okay, not this person. He went and caught his hand and pinched him, okay, to check, because he was like very young, maybe like 16, 17 years old. And then what he did, he pinched himself to see if it's real, if it's all real, or if it's like, not real. So Mahavar Babaji laughed, okay, laughed at the kid, and he was like, he was like entering into conversation and everything. And then he came to a point where he asked, like, what happened, like, what happened and how to go about. He asked so many questions about Kriya Yoga, about body of light, all of that. And then Mahavar Babaji said like this, and then like a strong wind, maybe like 200 miles per hour, he streamed into his body and entered into his body and disappeared into himself. Okay. So in other words, he became my guru that time. Hmm? So anytime now my guru can become him. Okay. So I have had similar stories, and the process that we are going to do, I have developed with Mahavar Babaji, maybe for 6 months non-stop work with him to develop the program that we have in Synapse. So it's not like I've learned from somebody and then I'm applying it and sharing it. I've learned from different spiritual masters in India, but the recipe of certain kind of processes released by Mahavar Babaji to me is unique. So that we are going to show you a little bit in the process. Okay. The good thing in Mexico retreat is that you can come in and be physically with me. So there's a huge difference between going through a body of light program physically with me and a body of and an enlightenment program. Okay, you get it? Enlightenment is on your consciousness level, on your super conscious level. Then I can easily give you in distance also. But when it comes to physical body healing, physical body work, physical mind, physical means what? Brain work, right? Mental illnesses, mental disorders, symptoms of it, then it's better you are physically with me, because body problems is better bodies, near me, so that my body can touch your body and give you the shift and healing. Okay. Same thing with you also. So all that you are going to go through, it is not about me as a person, or it's not about Mahavar Babaji as a saint. Okay. It is about you undergoing the process so that you can give that to people. Hmm? So you will continue to do what you're doing. You are already excellent in what you're doing, but you will add some elements to it so that it's energetically different, faster, transformative. Hmm? So healing itself, how do we work on healing, is written on the website. So I'm going to take you through a little bit on that. Okay. So day one, so we have 3 days, right? So we day one, day two, and day three. So first day we will work on Panchaprana activation. Okay. So Panchaprana, in Panchaprana activation, so here we have nectar activation. Now, all of this are actually based on scriptures and written books by enlightened masters and gods thousands of years before. We do not follow recent books at all. Okay. Understand that everything that I'm going to show you, we follow actual scriptures and we have it all. There's nothing from my brain or any human brain that is coming into this. Be very clear about it. Because if you think I am talking, you'll always reject half of it. Because ego to ego means you'll reject half of it. And 25% you'll reject it as unattainable. 25% you will say, I already know this. This I already know. I am already on a path. I know I'm going to get here. So I don't need this is good, but I don't need it. So 100% your mind will reject. Okay. So that is why if you listen to me as a person, then you will have rejection. Energy also will be affected. So when I'm going to give you the shifts, your mind will reject, because mind will be like, oh, this I have this person who's going to give to me. I know this kind of meditation. If I do this meditation, I can get to that anyway, right? And I know this method. I know that book. I know this person. I know my master. I know my. I don't know what all. Thousands of reasons will come into your brain to reject it. Okay, that's why we very clear. It's run by spiritual masters who are not living now on the planet. Okay, who has been living for thousands of years, and gods, and based on scriptures which are written by gods. We will show you all of that. We have evidence of all of it in Sanskrit. Okay. So Pancha Prana is a process in which we will teach you how to go through the 5 kinds of prana. So prana is like 5 different flows of energy movements in your body, which determines your health. Hmm? So you can say that when you breathe in air, your body breathes in all 5 kinds of air, prana, and releases all 5 kinds of prana. So there's a flow inside your system. Inside the pranic system is supported, your soul resides inside. So if your prana is not channeled working properly, or if it's not directed properly, if it is entangled with people or places, then you will be having problems on your health and mind. Okay. So this Pancha Prana process, we will go through a certain kind of process. We will go through a Kundalini awakening process in which your Kundalini will be properly awakened as per scriptures, and it will flow through your Sushumna Nadi, which is your spine, in the way it should flow so that it reaches your heart and brain properly, right? So when we go do our own work, many people say, I can do it by myself. I can just sit in closed eyes and chant some mantras and I'll get Kundalini awakened. That is not awakening what we are speaking about. Okay. So if you know how to do it, go and do it by yourself. Okay. We are speaking about experience of the spiritual masters they had in Himalayas. The experience that I am speaking about, people are going to have it right in our program. They don't have to go to Himalayas. Himalayas will come to them. That's the kind of intensity they're going to get into, such effects, such experiences, such shifts. Okay. So Kundalini awakening on a different level. Okay. Chakra activations in this 3 days, maybe we get time for more than 7. 7 is definitely for sure. If we get 21 minor chakras, we may go into minor chakras. It all depends on the time you're going to give me. Okay. If you activate 15 chakras, you get connected to your guru. If you activate 29 chakras, you get connected to your God, above your body. Seven chakras are up to your body level. Then we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's all given on the website. I'm going to show you. We have the script. We have the diagram of all of this. 15 chakras, you get connected to your guru. Of course, from heart, you connect to your guru also. Okay? But that is the main, where you get into oneness with your guru. And through your guru, you get to your God. So some people ask me, like, why do I need guru? Right? That's how it's structured by the divine. Right? If you want to get to the God, you have to go through your guru. But which guru? Not the person, or not the body, or not the mind of the guru, not the personality, not the character, not the behavior. But we are speaking about one person in which there's no two there, right? So your guru and you will be seen as one in the 15 chakra. From there, you get the golden tunnel to go into the golden light. That's what Melody was sharing today. She saw the golden light everywhere. She saw golden beings everywhere. right? I'm very sure she cannot make that experience by herself, right? Yeah, yeah. Because that's why we are here to help her, right? So this why I'm saying all of this. I'm not actually speaking to you because I know most of you know all of this or most of it. I'm speaking to you so that when you speak to people, you can speak because they're going to tell all of this. They're going to say this, right? They're going to say, I do it by myself. I can just go on YouTube and do all of this. Right? They're going to tell you, right? So that time you can talk about it. Okay. So I'm recording this, right? And I'll share it also. Okay. So Anandagantha activation, Anandagantha, it's a chakra within your Anahata system, which we will do activation so that you can get connected to your Guru. Okay? Unless you get activated, you cannot have Bhava Samadhi with your Guru, or you cannot have Bhakti with your Guru, right? Love to your Guru. If you cannot get in connection with in love to your Guru, right? So then you can receive a little, but not a lot, right? Because Guru is nothing but an ocean. It's divine himself appearing through the body of a person, right? So that is Anandagandha initiation for your physical Guru connection to heaven. When you get this connection, then when you conduct program for others, they can connect to your Anandagandha and receive. So where does it come from? The Guru lineage, 60,000 years it started before. Right from Lord Shiva, it started going through unbroken lineage. So that's why this part of it is so very important. Okay? And then we have nectar activation. We have gone through so much of it in the past programs, especially 2020 when we ran so many programs. Nectar is it's activated through a chakra in your Ajna, known as Soma chakra, in which this nectar will be secreted inside your brain. They say it's pineal through the pineal gland, and it gets secreted into your throat and it enters into your stomach and gets into your system. Okay. No nectar, no body of light. Okay. It's all coming through nectar. So this is not active in you. And if you are not going through this on a very, very deep level, there are levels to nectar activation also. Then you cannot say, I'm going to have body of light. Okay, so you're going to speak to people about it. Now, we are also going to have possibly nighttime, because now we're going to go on a break in a short time, where we're going to scan your body and go through your glands, organs, your brain, any diseases that you may have in the future, your heart and liver, I know, intestine, prostrates, and other glands, right? Like pancreas and all of this. So we're going to go through this and we follow a book. In this, we follow a current book. So that's a very structured book in which we will go through the emotional healing part of it. So this will be done at night today. Okay. So if you have time to come, like a couple of you said, you can come at 10 p.m. So you can come at 10 o'clock. We'll run at 10 o'clock at night in US, in New York time. Okay. So this is this healing part of it. Okay. So the emotional healing will go here. So what we're going to work here is on your mind. You're going to put your belief system right. That's why I'm giving you all this knowledge so that you get your belief system corrected. Once you get your belief system corrected, then your system will open up to emotional healing. Through emotional healing, we're going to heal your organs. So your physical body stores these emotions in your physical system. If you have nervous system disorder, you have an emotional problem there. You have a gland issue, you have emotional problem. You have jaw issue, you have an emotional problem. You have eyesight, hearing issue, ear, throat issues, thyroid issues, metabolism, you have this problem of emotions, right? All problems in the body are connected to emotions. Hmm? That's what the book says. So we are going to go through your system to find each one and see where the problem lies. And we are going to find it and we are going to heal it also. Okay. You may not know all of this. Maybe you have a prostate problem coming up in 30 years or a uterus problem for 40 years. In this program, we will heal it, which will be healed for 40 years for you. That is why this is not like a normal program, right? We go in and find out what's going to come after 30, 40 years and we heal it now. For example, any problem that you take if you have now, you would have seen that 20 years back, you could have done it. You could have healed it, right? 20 years back, it started. Now it's too much. So 20 years from now, you're going to have a lot more problems. We see what is that now. In time, we travel and we heal that. Okay? So time travel is involved. So somewhere here, you get time liberation also. Okay? So we travel in time and find. Okay? So we go through your koshas. That's what I'm telling you all about. Okay? And then we go into the enlightenment steps. Okay? So we can say that the body healing happens on certain levels. So first is awakening, like I mentioned before. And awakening means you move into Bhava Samadhi. That is the first step where your heart starts spinning and start feeling bhakti or love to your Guru and God. That's the first step. Okay? That will get reflected as love to everyone else, including yourself. A couple of you said that you have self-hatred, right? Self-anger. Frustration is nothing but self, right? All of that will start shifting when you have your heart chakra activated and when you have awakening as a shift in consciousness. That will be the last part of the day, which we will do it depending on the time. Of course, this requires 8 hours. Now you know why we need 8 hours, right? So we'll start from night 10 o'clock and I'll finish it all because anyway you're going to sleep. So we will work through sleep to the level we can, we'll do. Okay? Swarupa Samadhi, when we get to the second level of awakening, you get awareness for a few moments or a few minutes. You get it? For example, you mentioned about anger, right? You feel anger to some people. Sometimes you know you're getting angry as you're getting angry. Sometimes you know you got angry after you got angry. So we are speaking about the first case where you can see yourself getting angry and that state sustains for 2 or 3 minutes. That is Swarupa Samadhi or awakening. And Savikalpa Samadhi is where you get that awareness lasting for 49 plus. That is non-stop for 49 minutes, it's last. Okay, so that's what Savikalpa Samadhi means. Okay? And then you go back. That's when if you will see that sometimes you're really stable, sometimes you go down. That is because your state is still not there yet. We are not raised you up there. Your body is not ready to take the energies yet, right? Then we move into enlightenment. So that is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, in which you have 24 hours of awareness. So this is a huge step. Going from this to this is a huge step. And we like to take it really slow, not rush it, due to several reasons. Sahaja Samadhi is when you establish yourself in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, your body learns it, physical body, and then you can act based on the perceptions of enlightenment. That's Sahaja Samadhi. That is worldly action. Success comes in this from this level. Okay, everything else is actually spiritual growth. So when you go through the spiritual growth, you will also undergo certain kind of suffering, certain kind of challenges, right? All of that. But when you enter into Sahaja Samadhi, then forever you are free. That is the state of spiritual masters who are active in the world. Who are passive in the world, they are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So saints, I can say, are here, saints. Sages are in Savaja Samadhi. Okay. So this will all happen through Diksha, transfer of energy, in Darshan, which is the divine vision at, at last of the program. Okay. So that is day one. Now, can you believe, can you imagine I can do it all in 3 hours? That's why we need more time. Okay. But you don't have time, it's okay for now. We will do that in Mexico because during the retreat time, you have anyway time. Just come into the program and then we will do it. Okay. The day two, we're going to go into the third eye activation deeper. We're going to activate your clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance. And we're going to run a kind of holotropic breathing process, okay, in which you go through a process of rebirthing. Okay. Then we have relationship healing, right? Some of our participants were talking about setting right relationship with the mother, right? Because we cannot say that I hate my mother, but I like to love Mary, right? It is not true. Biological parents first. Second is caregivers who are in parents' position. Emotions connected to them. When you were 2 years of age, 3 years, 4 years, those times are extremely important. So that is relationship healing, right? Now, rebirthing or holotropic breathing, in which we go through the womb life, right? So we go through the womb life, in which we go inside your womb and we go through the process. That we will do in Mexico. That I do not know if we have time in 3 days. Okay. This will be a major process. I would say this will be like 4 hours minimum. Minimum. Okay. Past life regression. So karmas happen through 3 levels. First is for past life. This is the primary reason of your suffering, right? For past life. Second is your womb life. What happened in your womb? What were your thoughts and emotions of your mother? That's the second step, second stage. Third stage is this life after you're born, right? So many times we work on this life so much, trying to figure out what to do and trying to get maximum pleasure out of this life, right? But that is only a small part of our eternal life. Hmm? So we are speaking about your past life, which led to the womb life, which led to the present life. Get it? So why it's important? Because you got disconnected from the divine, and then you had one life somewhere, right? Before you had the very first life, whatever form it was, you were one with the divine, correct? So only if you rewind yourself back to that time, you can see why and from where you left the divine. Then you know who you are, right? From which part of the divine you came from. Did you come from Shiva, Parvati, Babaji, Light, or Krishna, Muruga? I don't know which gods, right? Jesus Christ. From which god you started your separation? Which part of God? Of course, all God is that one huge entity, but it appears as different forms. So which form you took, you came out and you took a form too. Right now you are in a form, correct? Where it started, you can only see when you track back to hundreds of lifetimes. That's what past life regression means. So we are not speaking about healing people, bodies, and making them feel better, give them a little bit of pleasure and some healing so that they can have a better this life. This is not our vision. Even though that happens in the process. If all of that happens, but our vision is very large, it's eternal. It starts from the time you separated from the divine. It stops at the time when you get back to oneness with the divine. And that happens in the body now. That's why we have the golden body transformation program. Because if you don't have a healthy body, we cannot go through it completely. Okay. Then we have some liberations, some japa yoga we will do. This is second day. Okay. Third day is about getting back to your source. finding who your God is, finding who your guru is, right? Then connecting with them on deep clarity, commune with them. Hmm? Because right now the communication is not clear, right? Some people, they say I have a guru, and that guru comes near me and speak to my ears, and I can hear, and then he goes. Who is it? He doesn't know, right? That is not the guru. We are speaking about actual form. For example, Mahavar Babaji, we know how he looks. So once you recognize, oh, this is my guru, then you are going to connect to him and relate two-way with him and receive directions and instructions and commands, and also intelligence, wisdom, healing, everything on a constant basis, moment to moment. That's what we mean here, right? Constant communion. Not that we go into meditation and then we get some communion. Open eyes, we can see your guru. That's a state we are talking about. Okay, open eyes. Not that I can see Babaji, close the eyes. Okay, so remember I spoke about my gurus. Both of them saw Babaji open eyes. So here when we say we activate your third eye, we mean you're going to see your guru or God open eyes. Get it? Open eyes, just like I'm speaking to you, your guru will talk to you, your God will talk to you. Two-way. So now I'm speaking to you 95%. 5% you're speaking to me, right? That's what we mean by constant communication. 95% your God or Guru talks. Okay, that's what we mean. This state you will have it on the third day morning. Okay, so we're going to work. This is a huge process, so we cannot pressurize time on this. If we just want healing, I can do it in 2 hours and do it. I can just give you Diksha and in your sleep you'll get healed. Healing is not really our work, even though it happens. Our work is to get them an eternal connection. And then possibly this time, in 3 days, if we have time, then we go into the travel. So that's when you go lift off your body, we'll activate levitation. Like one of the participants were saying, if you see, one lady was saying that she lifted off from her seat physically. It's not mental levitation. Okay, you can speak to her. She's Melody's friend. Physically, he lifted off the chair in the program in December 2020. That's what levitation means. Physically, you start lifting, but to the higher worlds, psychologically, you start lifting. It means your part of your soul will travel. And then you get into start seeing, like Melody was saying, like I could see all the plants. Another lady was saying, right, the plants came and hugged her. Thereafter, you have no logic, because only in this world you have logic. Once you come out of it, it is magic, right? It's very magical. You move into animals, you start seeing different kinds of animals. You move into cosmos, you can start seeing space. You get to see your ancestors, possibly. You start seeing different kinds of gods. You start seeing the higher worlds, and then you start getting liberated from time and enter into light, and you go through a transfiguration process that happens in the light world. Okay, so the transfiguration process, so when we say body of light, the body of light goes through certain kind of steps. So the body of light, clean up little bit we can do here, but the actual transfiguration happens in the light world, Jyoti, Brahma Jyoti, in which Melody enters. That's when she was saying, like, see, everything is gold. Guru was God, gods were gold, light was gold, upside, downside, 360 degrees, she can see only gold. Everything is gold, so beautiful and bright. Where on the planet Earth you can see, you cannot see that, right? So that is outside our universe, not inside the universe. Then There, your body will undergo certain process. That's what happened to Mahavar Babaji. And that's what happened to Valala, Swami Valala, who's another sage or saint who's going to help us, who's my guru also for last 15 years. I'm going to introduce to you about him maybe in the near future also. Okay? So that's about the 3-day program.